Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. Before we get started today, I would like you to think about something for me. I want you to think back to your childhood toys. Do you remember your stuffed animals? Do you remember your favorites? Where are they right now? Do they still bring you joy now that you're grown up? I can think of 3 that I still have. The first is a blue stegosaurus that I got before I can remember. The second is a larger than average sized teddy bear who's wearing a Christmas sweater and a Santa hat. I believe I was 7 when my mother got him for me. The third will be a Pikachu that I got when I was 11. The Pikachu, the teddy bear, and the stegosaurus all sit on my bookshelves next to my computer. Then when I have my Christmas decorations out, I always put that teddy bear under the Christmas tree. Now I'd like you to hold on to those memories that you have with your toys, especially as we talk about today's figure, Christopher Robin Milne. Christopher Robin was born August 28, 1920, to writer and poet Alan Alexander Milne, better known by his pen name A.A. Milne. For his first birthday, A.A. Milne got his son a teddy bear from the Harrods department store in London. For Christmas in 1921, Christopher Robin would end up receiving the toys that would be known later as Piglet and Eeyore. In 1924, Christopher Robin and his father started visiting the London Zoo frequently, and one of the animals who called that zoo home was Winnie. She was a domesticated Canadian black bear that one of the Canadian soldiers had brought with him for his service during World War I. When he was called to the front lines, the London Zoo took care of her, and it ended up becoming her permanent home, and she became a permanent staple in the zoo until her death in 1934. Christopher Robin had initially called his teddy bear Edward, but after being charmed by this black bear, he had changed the name of his teddy bear to Winnie. A.A. Milne had been best known as a playwright, and then his publishers had asked him to start writing some short stories to be featured in magazines. For some time before this, A.A. Milne had used his son's toys to tell bedtime stories to him. He ended up penning a poem in February 1924, a poem that was called Teddy Bear, with Winnie the Pooh first appearing in the London Evening News on Christmas Eve 1925. Over the next few years, the Winnie the Pooh short stories were collected and published into 2 books, Winnie the Pooh in 1926 and The House of Pooh Corner in 1928. Each book contains 10 short stories about Winnie the Pooh and his friends. In time, A.A. Milne and Christopher Robin would go on to hate the property that they created. When Christopher Robin started school, he was tormented relentlessly by his classmates. In one interview late in his life, he called the Winnie the Pooh stories the work that brought me over the years more toe-curling, fist-clenching, lip-biting embarrassment than any other. This also put a strain on his relationship with his parents. After returning from World War II, Christopher Robin got a degree in both English and mathematics. After he got married, he only saw his father a few times. The last time was when his father was ill, and he never recovered from the illness. He didn't see or speak to his mother for the next 15 years, and she refused to see him on her deathbed. Christopher Robin gave the original stuffed animals that inspired the Pooh characters to the book's editor, who in turn donated them to the New York Public Library. Christopher Robin was very disappointed in this, and he had to explain to her that he had to concentrate on the things that he was currently interested in. He also disliked the idea of Winnie the Pooh being commercialized. After taking over his parents' estate with the death of his mother, he refused to take any royalties from the books. Christopher Robin ended up passing away on April 20th, 1996. He had once said, "When I was 3, my father was 3. When I was 6, he was 6. He needed me so he could escape from being 50. Although A.A. Milne had a hot commodity going and an international bestseller in his hand, he never wrote another children's story again after seeing the damage that had already been done to his son. Christopher then estranged himself from his family, feeling that his childhood had been capitalized and monetized. Milne's had shell shock that he suffered from for the rest of his life, which was brought on by his service during World War I. He died in his home at age 74 on January 31st, 1956. Now I'm curious to everyone, how would you feel if this had happened with you? Imagine one of your parents wrote stories about you and your toys when you were children. How would you feel about the situation? Would you still be able to hug your stuffed animals? Leave a comment below. I'd really like to hear what your treasured items were and if it would change the relationship that you have with them. As for me and my guys are okay. I'm going to link to one video in the description, which is from YouTuber Half Asleep Chris, who documented the London Zoo and then went over the story of Winnie in the London Zoo in much greater detail than I did here. Check it out if you're so inclined. I just wanted to make this quick video after I learned the dark history that these toys had on Christopher Robin, because I still think there's a place in our lives for our toys that we had as children. We may outgrow playing with them every day, but we'll never outgrow the emotional bond and connections that we had with them. That's going to do it for today, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.